We knew that we needed a new application to support our Emergency Operations Center, which was new as well. And we knew that Web EOC, the product itself, would be a key component of that. But really what we wanted to do was a lot more than that, is to bring in lots of different data sources and to create this common operating platform so that all the members of the EOC, all of the different branches who participate in the EOC, could be on the same platform to create this common operating platform. This application caught the eye of one of the groups within DHS. That's one of their initiatives, is to find technology that's working at the local level to create this interoperability concept. And so they really liked our concept and how we were moving forward. So they've provided some in-kind services to help facilitate that.
Is there any sort of training that goes into using Virtual Beverly Hills? And if so, to what extent? I mean, down to every officer, or is it, sort of contained in the people at the EOC?
Right. So it's fairly widespread, the training program. We have an actual user group and training program in place. Different groups, detectives might use more of the crime analysis package more than, say, the earthquake shake values types of things. So there's lots of different components of it, but we're doing a widespread training. So all the personnel will be up to speed on it.
Is that maybe where some of the decision to use the ESRI software come in? Because I know that they've used that for things like StateStat in Maryland, where it's web-based and it's really, it takes a minute, but once you figure it out, it is pretty user-friendly. Yeah,
exactly. That was one of our objectives. And in fact, one of the benefits of working with the Department of Homeland Security is that they have their finger on the pulse of what other states are doing. And in fact, we worked with the state of Maryland, and ease of use was a key component. We looked at what the state of Virginia was doing, and so we got some ideas from there, and then hopefully built upon that to provide additional functionality.
Were you two responsible largely for the development of Virtual Beverly Hills?
It was a group effort, certainly. Our application development team was involved with it, but really working in conjunction with our end users, which is the first responders, the public safety, police and fire. They sort of determined the functionality that would be important to them. We then did our own research, looked at what other states and other municipalities are doing, and tried to build upon that.
And we started with a prototype application, which deployed about a year ago. That was mainly for a proof of concept, and also it helped us gather the requirements from the end users better, because we are not just discussing concepts only, just theoretical concepts, but with that prototype, we were showing them actual potential applications.
Let's look at the data sets that you use incorporated into the map. How do you decide on which ones are going to be available or which are most relevant? Is that something you get together with the EOC and the fire chiefs and police chiefs to decide on, or how does that process work?
You want to take that?
Yeah. That is partly an iterative process, and partly it goes back to the prototyping I mentioned earlier. Initially, we put most of the data that we have in the city, and then once our stakeholders saw the application, they come up with new ideas.
And that's just part of the information sharing and the data sharing and interoperability. If somebody's come upon something that's very useful and helpful, then let's see how we can use that and then share that with our partners.
How much of that translates over to the public-facing site?
We've spun off a public version of the website that provides many of the data sets that internally the users are using, but stuff that's of importance to residents. So we've made that available to our users. And additionally, the next step is we're going to create this emergency management portal for the residents. And really what that's going to include our public information officer function, getting the press releases out, giving people information what they should do in an event, and then tying that into the mapping and those sorts of things so that we have a better informed resident group.